Hi everybody, I'm back. Boy, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but we're bringing it back. I'm going to be kind of stepping up our YouTube game again, and what better way to do it than with a first look on the newest hero, King Varian Ren. This guy, this fella.
We have waited long enough. Let us act.
Alright, Chris, calm down. We're going to get started. This is a first look at him, but I gotta be completely honest with everybody. This is technically not my first look on Varian. I played him at BlizzCon, and so I have a little experience, but, you know, it can be chaotic on the floor. We're actually gonna mess around with him. For those of you who've never checked out one of these features before, basically what I do is I really take my time and figure out maybe a build or style that I am going to enjoy on this here character, and we give it a go and we see how it goes. So first off, right away, level 1, even though I'm technically 20 right now. Lion's Maw, it's quest talent. Every time Lion's Fang hits a hero, increase its damage by 4 up to 120. After hitting 30 heroes, the slow is increased to 40% and its duration is increased to 2 seconds. So Lion's Fang, that's what it's based on. Shockwave travels in a straight line, dealing damage, slowing enemies by 30% for 1.5 seconds. Overpower. When you parry a hero's basic attack, Heroic Strike's cooldown is refreshed. This can only occur once per cast. So Heroic Strike is his trait. Every 18 seconds, Varian's next basic attack deals bonus damage. Basic attacks reduce this cooldown by 2 seconds. So, in other words, that refreshes that. He's going to get more critical strikes with Overpower. High King's Quest. Quest. Hit 50 heroes with basic attacks. Participate in 5 hero takedowns. Gather 20 regeneration globes. This actually looks like a World of Warcraft quest. That's kind of hilarious. Completing a quest grants 10 base attack damage. Completing all 3 grants an additional 30 base attack damage. So all that sounds pretty good. I mean, none of these quests seem impossible. They definitely seem achievable throughout various points in the game. So that doesn't seem too bad. Personally, on the show floor, I took Lion's Maw at 1 and really enjoyed it. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take that here. And it's pretty easy. So as you can see, when you use Lion's Maw, it travels through the enemy and through the creeps. So hitting enemy heroes is not hard. In fact, hitting multiple enemy heroes is not hard. As long as you're kind of decent at your skill shots, you can get it pretty quickly, actually. And that's nice. That makes for a nice quest. Something that's pretty easy to do. Lets you be right in the thick of it. So, seems like a good way to go. While we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at his other abilities. We talked about him a little bit. Parry. Parry all incoming basic attacks for 1.25 seconds, reducing their damage by 100%. And charge. Charge to the target enemy, dealing damage, slowing them by 75% for 1 second. Pretty standard fare. Varian is not a flashy hero. But that doesn't mean I don't like him. He's just not particularly flashy. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it goes sometimes. So, as you can see, I'm doing a pretty bang-up job getting through Lion's Maw as a quest, even against just like this little Arthas bot only having 1 target. Obviously, if you can shoot that through a whole group, you're going to get way more credit towards your quest. So, I like it. I really like it as a level 1 talent. Let's go ahead and take a look at level 4 talents. Shield Wall. Parry now grants protected, preventing all incoming damage for the duration. And Warbringer. Charge now stuns the target for 1 second instead of slowing them, and its cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds. So, this one feels very situational. Both options offer some really cool bonuses and perks. but I feel like a lot of those bonuses and perks are going to vary greatly depending on what you need. If you need a stun, you're probably going to want to take Warbringer. If you would rather be focusing on, like, if the enemy team has a bunch of spellcasters, you're taking a bunch of ability damage, Shield Wall is going to be a little bit better for you there. I'm going to take Warbringer for just goofing around, but I feel like that's a super situational talent, which is fine. There's going to be a lot of those with Varian, actually. So now we get an actual stun.
Enemy slain.
Makes it a little easier to take him out.
We are victorious.
Let's see. Let me go ahead and refresh forwards, because why not? Live by the Sword. These are level 7 talents. Live by the Sword. Increase the duration of parry by 20%. If you block at least 2 hero basic attacks with a single parry, the cooldown is reduced by 3 seconds. With a 15-second cooldown, that's, you know, not a bad cooldown, that's for sure. Basic attacks heal Varian for 1% of his maximum health. While below 50% health, they also heal him for 50% of the damage dealt. So that's something to consider if you're going to go his dual wielding build. I'm not sure if I should actually call it by its WoW terminology, but if you're going to dual wield with him, that's not a bad idea, because that'll keep him in the fight doing, you know, lots more damage. So might be a good way. And Victory Rush. Every 60 seconds, Varian's next basic attack will heal him for 912 health. When a nearby enemy minion dies, the cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds. So that's kind of useful, but again, it kind of depends a lot on where you're going to be building him. So it's a lot of self-healing, or damage mitigation in this particular tier, and I don't know how I'm going to build him yet, is the problem. So level 7 talent, you kind of have to start forming your plan for what you're thinking for 10. Because at 10 is when you decide if you're going to be a tank, a high damage kind of burst, or whether you're going to be sustained damage. That's kind of the point of no return. So I think I'm going to build him Twin Blades of Fury this go round, and so for my level 7, I think I'm going to take Second Wind. I haven't played with it. This might be a bad idea. I'm just going to let everybody know that right up front. I'm going to refresh forts again, because, man, we're doing too well. So his level 10, his Heroic. This is where it gets interesting. Like I already said, you're going to be making a decision on how to spec Varian. Taunt, you're going to gain health, lose attack speed, and you'll be able to force a hero to attack you. So in other words, this is his tanking build. You're going to get a shield. Colossus Smash, he's going to maintain dual wielding, or not dual wielding, using this weapon like a two-hander? Boy, you'd think I'd never played a fantasy game where you have weapons before. And then Twin Blades of Fury. Basic attacks reduce heroic strikes cooldown by 9 seconds. Increase Varian's movement speed by 30% for 2 seconds. Basically, gain attack speed, lose damage. The other one, you gain damage, lose health. And you can also smash enemies and make them vulnerable. So we decided we were going to go Twin Blades of Fury. So let's take a look at that. Here we go. There we go. He's got his 2 swords. So now we're starting to get right down to it. Now this also gives a passive. That's the basic attacks that reduce heroic strikes cooldown. So that thing. And increase Varian's movement speed by 30%. So you can see old Varian is striking very fast now. We're using that stun to keep Arthas in place. And we're getting the healing off his basic attacks. So that's kind of the advantage there. You can see as he kind of chops through enemies, he's getting a lot of health back. Alright, level 13. This is when we pick our banner. So, first banner. Banner that grants movement speed. Banner that grants resistant. And banner that grants ability power. I'm going to say probably for this incarnation of Varian, the best bet is going to be movement speed. Because we're going to want to close on our enemies. As you can see, Arthas is running away, so movement speed's going to be useful. Resistant might also be good, depending on the comp we're going up against. Ability power, I'm not using a ton of ability powers. I mean, we could use it to increase Lion's Fang, because we are using that kind of offensively from level 1. But generally speaking, I think movement speed's going to be the right banner, and it's going to help the whole team, too. So, he still got away. It's okay. It happens. Alright, level 16. Juggernaut. Charge deals bonus damage to heroes equal to 6% of their maximum health. Kind of a weird version of... what's the word I'm looking for? I've forgotten all my heroes' terminology. You know what I mean. Mortal Strike. Heroes hit by Heroic Strike receive 40% reduced healing for 4 seconds. Shattering Throw. Activate to throw a sword that deals 119 damage to the target, and up to 3,321 bonus damage to their shields. Basic attacks deal up to 200% bonus damage to shields. So, this is a counter to anybody who's got shields, basically, obviously. Which Arthas does not have here. We won't be taking that. He's also not getting healed in this stupid mode, so we're definitely not taking that. So we would take Juggernaut, which also makes sense because with him being a tank, percentage damage is going to be nice. But again, yet another pick that seems very focused on... you know, kind of comp. You're not gonna be guaranteed wanting to pick it no matter what. So, something to think about. Level 20. So the bonuses we're not getting. Vigilance. Being hit by hero basic attack reduces the cooldown of taunt by 0.75 seconds, so that's enhancing your taunt. Colossus Smash affects all enemies near the target, and its cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds. That's going to be a bigger vulnerable. That's going to be nice. Frenzy. Twin Blades of Fury increases Varian's attack speed by an additional 15%, and basic attacks increases movement speed by an additional 10%. So, faster, hitting harder, which is also going to up anything that we've given him that's passive to his damage. Glory to the Alliance. Banner now also increases health regeneration and healing received all nearby allied heroes by 50%. And Demoralizing Shout. Activate to demoralize enemy heroes, reducing damage they deal by 25%. So again, in this situation, it's going to make the most sense to take Frenzy. Just going against Arthas, this comp, that's what makes the most sense to me. So... you can see I am now crazy fast auto attack damage. We're also dangerously close to completing our quest, even without actively trying to work on it very hard. So this is a pretty good build for old Varian. Get in there, do some damage when they start to run. Really lay it on. Make them retreat real quick. You can attack minions to get healed up. It's not a bad way to go. You kind of got that as a decent little bit of damage on a closer, but I'm beginning to think that the level 1 talent is not particularly good. Let's go ahead and finish the quest. Let's see what it's like all done, but I think it's going to be pretty safe to say we may change what we pick here at level 1. That slow is nice. That slow feels good. I gotta get better at using it. using it like a slow. Right now I'm just trying to get the quest, so I'm actually kind of opening with it, which doesn't make a lot of sense because it doesn't utilize the slow. But let's get one more hit on Alarthus. That's quest complete. So now we can start damaging Arthas. Stun him. He goes to run. Slow him. And he's down. So that's really the combo that we should be looking for with this particular build of Varian. Is we should be looking at letting him think it's okay to engage us, so we can get into a fight with him. You know, let him come on in, get in a fight. When he starts to run because he's getting hurt, stun him.
Well done.
Well, we didn't get to even follow up that time. He stayed in maybe a little longer than he should have. But that's the idea. So you get in, get into a fight, stun when they go to run away, and follow up with the slow as they're trying to get away to kind of close the deal. You can also throw down that, like that. Ugh.
Your killing spree
Got too
has
greedy.
ended.
I was also kind of curious how much self-sustaining heal you can do in a 1-to-1. I think the turrets were a bit much. But let's reset talents. Let's see if there's something that maybe makes a little more sense. So if we went with High King's Quest, now this is going to be very hard to complete in this little try mode. I actually wish there was a way to toggle quest talent status. That would actually really up his base damage. I still think that's good for stuns. Basic attacks heal Varian. Yeah, I still think that's probably the best. Twin Blades. Maybe reduce damage taken instead of speed. Juggernaut. Frenzy. And actually, let's get an idea. Let's get a better idea of what his self-healing is like. Let's get rid of Malfurion Bot. Let's get rid of him. We don't need him. Let's refresh forts. And look, each one of those attacks is going up, so maybe this, yeah, this might be a good way. It seems like a lot of these are actually going to be very doable. Oh, I missed.
That was rather entertaining.
So yeah, definitely missing Malfurion's healing and whatnot. You can see the attack speed increase. You know, fighting a minion wave is suddenly a very effective way to try and get health back.
Well done.
Yeah, all of a sudden he becomes a bit of a
You
powerhouse.
shouldn't have made me angry.
Yep, that's right, Varian. You tell me.
Enemy slain.
So where are we at? So we've actually achieved the first part of the quest, working on health globes. Yeah, this quest doesn't seem too impossible here. It actually seems pretty darn achievable, I would say.
A killing blow.
There's the takedowns. That's 2. So all that's left is health globes.
Killing spree.
Now that's going to take a while to do, but we're getting a pretty good idea of where his health is at. Looks like he's going to be pretty decent against camps as well in this particular form build. That wasn't particularly difficult to do. You can activate his block to block the basic attacks. You got stuns. Now he does have mana, so you do have to be somewhat conservative, but I don't think it's that bad. And yeah, you can see he gets a lot of health back just from staying and fighting a minion wave. I'm digging that. All right, let's refresh forts. Let's reset talents. Let's try and build a tankier one. So tankier, I'm gonna maybe think Lion's Maw might be better for that. Then again, damage might still rule out, but parry preventing all damage will be good. So this will now protect me from all damage every time I activate it, which lets me stay in battle a bit more. Let's see, so increases the duration of parry by 20% if you block at least 2. And then if you block at least 2 basic attacks with a single parry, then the cooldown. So let's see how long it lasts now. That's still pretty short. But you get a shorter cooldown, so in theory, you can activate it more. Which, that's alright. Alright. Taunt is the obvious one. Get more health. He pulls out his little cool shield. Resistant would probably be the banner we're looking for that. So my damage isn't going to be as high, but I got more health to do stuff with. Juggernaut seems like a good way to go. And maybe Glory to the Alliance. So again, a little bit harder to judge how this is performing. This isn't obviously a genuine tank scenario.
That was rather entertaining.
But you can see he's got a lot of health. He does have some options. He's got a lot of defensive abilities. I feel like if you're gonna solo tank with him though, I feel like you're gonna want to take a lot of those heavy tank abilities. Like, you almost want to go pure tank. Let's reset talents. Let's see what else we got. I'm still really digging this High King's quest. Shield Wall seems like a good get out of jail free. Let's try Victory Rush. Let's try this Colossus Smash. I'm kind of building with a bit of a...
Let our enemies beware.
So in theory, this should be a slightly burstier. They're definitely slower, harder hits. And by really timing when you're using that, you can avoid taking a good chunk of damage. This might actually be a pretty fun way to build him, now that I think about it. Because with that big heal right in the middle of it, you can time when you know you're going to take some damage. Throw up protected, keep hitting, and then next thing you know, you get a big heal off.
A killing blow.
Knave.
Choose
Let's
a
see if we
talent.
can. Let's see what else we can craft with this here. Let's take High King's Quest. Let's take Shield Wall. Let's take Victory Rush. Twin Blades. Let's do Resistant. Charge damage. And let's do Frenzy.
Well done.
So the idea here is killing all these minions super fast is going to keep my Victory Rush on high cooldown, which is going to mean more big bursts of healing for me. So then I need to be a little more active on my W to defend.
Enemy slain.
Your struggle is over.
Mayhem. That was rather entertaining.
You should have made me angry.
So it's bigger sudden burst heal, but it is at the expense of the kind of constant heal that came with the other one. It's kind of hard to tell which is actually better. You're not really doing any AoE damage, so you're not resetting that cooldown as fast. I think maybe the fast attack is still the better way to go.
Choose a talent.
I'm kind of like in High King's Quest. I like Warbringer.
Stronger already.
Second Wind. Twin Blades. Charge. I wonder what the healing looks like for Glory to the Alliance. That's a big loss not taking Frenzy, but... I believe that works on Varian. Let's take some damage. Let's get him in a hurt place. Oh, you know what? Let's set our level at 20.
Choose a talent.
A little
Choose a
even
talent.
right now. What do we decide?
A useful talent.
You know, I wonder... So... I wonder if increasing his ability power with the one banner, I wonder if that actually impacts his heroic strike. Because it's a melee attack, but it's technically an ability. Anyway, let's toggle minions. Let's see what some healing looks like under the Storm banner. It's a lot of healing coming back up.
Charlemagne claims another.
Well done. Untouchable.
Yeah, this seems like a good build. I think I'm going to build him as a sustained DPS, probably. I think that seems like a pretty good way to go. Anyway, why don't we win this match real quick here?
Enemy slain.
And then we'll call that a successful test of Varian. Uh-oh. Alright, we might have to wait for one more low wave here.
Rather entertaining.
You definitely have to build up the gain to attack speed. When it's really high, it's real good. When it's kind of on the low end, it gets a little tougher. You definitely want to keep him in the thick of it with the minions and all that.
Enemy slain. Destroyed.
There we go.
Well
Alright.
deserved, my friend.
Well, that's my first look at Varian Ren. He seems pretty good. It's going to be very interesting. what do you know? He does a very traditional dance. Also, I do want to show this because I think it's kind of ridiculous. Varian Rin talks about his sword when you're playing him, but he doesn't seem to have a lot of regard for it. When he hearths, he kind of just ditches it. I don't think that's what you should do with your sword, Varian. I think that's irresponsible. Anyway, that's going to be it for Varian. Thanks everybody for joining me. I hope you have some cool builds in mind from kind of watching me go through this. Hope you try out some unique things on your own. If you have ideas, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments. Keep in mind, this is a first look. I'm by no means promising that any of these are good ideas or by any means the best ideas. They're just kind of what I'm coming to on my first experience with the character. But he seems interesting. I can't wait for him to go live, and thankfully I don't have to wait much longer. Till next time, everybody. Later.